Hello, Jonah.
Hello, Connor.
Welcome to another episode of Album Check. We're talking about the most recent Father John Misty album, God's Favorite Customer.
Yeah, he hasn't put out in a while. 2018.
Oh, before we actually talk about it, we have announcements in the sense that we have TikTok now. Look at us entering the 21st century. So go follow us on TikTok and then come back and listen.
Album Check podcast on there.
So yes, you remember this album coming out? You picked this.
Yeah,
You suggested Father John Misty for this one.
this is actually one I return to fairly regularly.
Ooh.
And I'm quite glad that we did this because I think I've learned a fair bit more about the album. In that it is way sadder than I thought it was. But yeah, this is one that I come back to fairly regularly because I just think it sounds extremely pleasant to my ear. So yeah, I don't actually know a lot about Father John Misty himself, so maybe you can enlighten if you
Well,
do.
I don't know a whole lot about him. I know a little bit of the context of the album. Do you?
I know he's like living in a hotel.
Yeah. So I think from what I've gathered, he had some kind of big, monumental life event. He hasn't specifically said what it is. He said he didn't want to because it involves other people that he didn't want to
Oh
involve.
yes, I did read that. Yeah.
But I think part of it also has to do with some kind of separation from his wife. The album kind of leads me to believe that.
Okay.
And yes, he seems to have spent a couple months in a hotel room writing this album, which is, yeah, it's strange because it's really bad to promote the depression equals good art thing, or you have to suffer for your art. But like, God, there's just so many examples of it.
Yeah, I know. Like this album is chocolate block with them. To be honest, like these are some sad songs, but they are really good in my opinion.
Mm. And it's a great. Before we get into the music,
The album cover.
well, the album cover is beautiful, but I just think the title is fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't really quite know how it ties into the album, but just the phrasing of it is nice to me.
Oh, well, okay, I think I can give a little bit of context for that as well. So I believe that Father John Misty, which is a slightly pretentious name, but I kind of
It seems so because he's humorous
yeah,
often, so it seems sort of tongue in cheek.
yeah, I
You
think
know?
so.
Yeah.
He's got definitely got a sense of humor.
Hmm.
But as a child, he grew up in a very religious household, I believe. I think his like parents were very evangelical,
Right.
and he at one point was very religious and wanted to, I think, be a priest. Um, but since left the faith, I mean, his last album, Pure Comedy, which is fantastic, he's very critical of religion on that album.
Mhm.
Does not.
He's critical of everything on that
Well,
album.
okay, that's true.
It's a very sorry state of affairs. Um, actually, now you mentioned that, I did see a quote from him, and it was like, "I used to want to be a youth pastor, but then I realized I didn't believe in God or like children," which I thought was very funny.
That is quite funny. But yeah, so we get in to the first song, "Hang Out at the Gallows," which that's also just such a great title for a
Hmm.
song. I
Yeah.
think because obviously there's a kind of the like double entendre of hanging out somewhere you hang out with people like at let's go hang out at the place, but also you like literally hang at
Hang-
Gallows.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
a,
really
a
enjoy that.
clever play on words.
Yeah, I just think this is a great intro song. It just
Oh,
really feels like the start of something.
yeah, no, for sure. Just the instrumentation immediately comes in, and he gets singing straight away.
It's not even that like sun is rising line just makes it feel like
Yeah, yes, it's cinematic. It feels
start
like
of a new
a
day,
proper
start of a
opening.
yeah.
Exactly. And his voice from the get go is very kind of bold, and yeah, it's fantastic.
Mm. And just that little piano the little sprinkle from the piano.
Mm,
Uh,
sprinkle's a good word.
yeah, and this is tie into some stuff I talked about last episode. He used that line like "Look out, buddy, Noah's calling." I think that's just a really great way of using our kind of shared knowledge of Christian imagery
to tell a story.
to say something like, "Look out, buddy, Noah's calling." Like, oh, he's like going, everything's coming to shit, going to
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, I love that line. Like, Jesus, what did you do? It's like, how bad could it be? Yeah, that's it's funny, it's clever. I love that. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's like I'd love it, again, a big theme on the last album, but kind of laughing at the misery of it all.
hmm This one's much more personal.
Mm.
The last one was very kind of grand in scope and ambition, but he sort of reins it in a little more here.
I think I heard described somewhere like the last album was kind of him like kind of like looking down on the world, and this one's more him kind of either like
Being in
looking
it.
up or looking inward.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, the music on this, the backing track is just so tasteful. Like that piano, like you said, is sprinkly. It's gorgeous. Uh, Tasteful bass licks all throughout, and there's so many little like electric guitar flourishes and
Yeah,
piano flourishes, which there's jazz influence there.
a lot of groove.
Yeah, and then it's not really chanting, but the kind of yeah 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 in the background,
Mm.
I enjoy a lot.
I
Um,
like how you kind of in between him singing, you get those kind of little electric guitar flourishes. It almost sounds like it's responding to the singing. Like there's a little bit of a back and forth.
yeah, it's like he says something and then just gives the instrument a second to kind of
Yeah, play out of
do
it.
a little thing, and it's like, ooh, that's nice. Um, to me, this song really feels like smiling through the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's happy chords and stuff,
Hmm.
but like that chorus, like what's your politics, what's your religion, what's your intake, what's your reason for living?
Hmm.
That's kind of it's a little heavier, you know.
I really like how you can read that kind of different ways. You know what I mean? You can look at it almost him asking himself kind of inwardly, like, what do I believe in?
Mm,
You can look at it as him just having a conversation with someone, or him just like asking the audience.
yeah,
Yeah, I find that really, yeah, interesting.
yeah, for sure. Um, I don't really know necessarily what it means, but I really enjoys the imagery in his second verse. Psychic terrorists in the upper room. Um, I it I guess it's just sort of like everything's screwed up. Everything's like there's you turn on the news, there's terrorism, horrible things happening, and it just kind of feels like it's everywhere. Just,
Oh, that's interesting. I think I took it as him being on drugs because there's drug references in the
oh,
later
psychic
song.
terror at the upper room being the brain. Yeah.
I didn't even think about the brain. I just thought like he's kind of in his hotel room drinking and on drugs and just kind of,
Yeah, maybe. That actually, yeah, that seems more sensible to me. Actually, now you say that.
yeah, I don't know. So I found that really interesting because he did seem to just shut himself in this hotel room and do not get drunk, as we'll talk about in the
hmm
next song. But there's some great delivery on this song. Like I love how he drags out and pronounces like what's your religion. He doesn't just like say what's your religion. He goes as I'm not going to do it, but he adds like so many syllables onto the end of it, and it goes really
Oh
on really
yeah,
long.
yeah. That's really you have to have a very good understanding of kind of the way sounds are formed to do things like that. Like Eminem is fantastic at it.
Mm.
And yeah, that's a really good example of it here.
And just before like it ends, it sounds like it goes into that kind of final chorus. It sounds like all the air kind of gets like sucked out of the room. It
Mm,
has a really nice build to that
hmm
final one just to make it kind of climactic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
definitely.
fantastic.
Okay, next up we get Mr. Tillman.
Oh, I love
Sort of a self-titled track. in a
Yeah.
weird way.
Yeah, so his actual name is Josh Tillman, for
You know, he
those who
has
didn't
like
know.
a lot of music released under his real name, like a
Oh, does
lot.
he?
Yeah, like
Oh, okay.
he wasn't just Father John Misty.
I did not know that.
I don't know if it's meant to be any good, but it's there if you want to.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe I will. But I love this song
yeah.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just so
Genius.
it's just so much fun because it's really clever because it's sung from the perspective of a receptionist at a hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and
The hotel that he stayed at for a very long
yeah,
time.
and it's like telling a story about him through someone else's eyes,
Yeah.
which I think is really fun. So you kind of get their perspective on it all.
Yeah, and it's not a flattering perspective.
No,
He gives it all, and it's just I love the way that the guy at the desk is trying to be amicable with him, and he's just trying to reason with him, but it's clear he is not cooperating at all, like not in any shape or form. Like the. Let's see here. You left your passport in the mini fridge, and the message with the desk says here the picture isn't his. That's genius.
Yeah, it's just like being like, over it. But okay, let's see here. Yeah, it's hilarious, and yeah, in this image, he's throwing his mattress out in the rain.
Hmm.
There's a line here. Jason Isbell's here as well, and he seems a little worried about you. Apparently, Jason Isbell is a real like country singer or something, and apparently they did actually
Okay.
have an interaction at a hotel, where he was a little concerned about uh, Father John's actions.
That's so funny, and just the fact that the the chorus is so like uplifting. Or I feel like the chorus might be from um Father John Misty's perspective, that like I'm
Yeah,
feeling good, I'm feeling so it's like he's trying to convince himself of it. But everyone else is looking in like not so sure about that.
or like again, I feel like it is on some kind of like drugs or alcohol or something, and
Mm.
that that I'm living on a cloud above an island in my mind, and then you get like kind of the backing vocals come in at that point. It just sounds so kind of
Mhm.
angelic and makes it kind of funnier.
My favorite line is, "Oh baby, don't be alarmed. This is just my vibe."
And then there's like, no need to walk around. It's not too bad a climb. I just imagine him kind of stumbling up the
Yeah.
stairs. Like, it's fine.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, exactly. And then like on verse 2, you get he's quite clearly kind of expressing the fact that he's having trouble with alcohol. Um like
Yeah, perhaps you shouldn't drink alone.
yeah, it's kind of blunt there. But it's just because it feels so like such a happy song.
The piano on it's so light.
Yeah, exactly. And just the lead vocal, and it's like a little chime
Mm.
dictating the main melody. They feel kind of whimsical and fun to me, but the obviously the lyrical content is not.
I love the whistling at the end. Like, whistling isn't something you hear very often in music.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just sounds like so carefree.
Mm,
And I just think it works, very well against the
it's too
what he's talking
carefree.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I love you've got like a really dry guitar strum on
Mm.
this. Like there's very no real reverb on it or anything. I just think it sounds great.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite songs from the album.
Mm,
I think
definitely.
it's great. Have you seen the music video for
Yes, I
it?
have. Yeah.
Because it's great on the sign-in book. It has him like his name every day, Just
Yeah,
Tillman, Just
yeah, yeah,
Tillman.
yeah, yeah.
Until like the most recent one, it just says "ill man" and very frantic, bad
Oh,
writing.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's clever. Yeah, no, he did music videos for quite a lot of this album, and they're quite good, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. They're like those cool animated ones. What have we got next? Just Dumb Enough to Try. Oh, this is a great one.
I mean, yeah, great first line. I know a few 10-cent words.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's like I know a few 10-cent words. I can break out to keep up with her. So it's like he's just kind of
Got cheap talk.
Yeah, exactly. He's just kind of just about pulling it together.
Mm.
And I think the admission of but you can take what I know about love and drown it in the sink is admirably reflective.
There's the even just the title and the chorus. I'm just dull enough to try to keep you in my life. Implies a certain level of self awareness of this
Mm,
throughout the whole album.
yeah.
That he knows there's something wrong, but he's either gonna fail or it's not working. But it seems a lot can't quite fix it.
hmm His second verse too, um, I think is fantastic because especially that like okay he can make a room full of people cry with his music, but he's like really I'm not that emotionally intelligent,
Hmm.
which is sort of counterintuitive. Um,
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that to be
exactly, yeah.
the case.
No, you'd think someone like a music artist would have to be very much in touch with that, but he seems to think otherwise.
Mm. Yeah, I don't. There's just like a really beautiful like rising, with the chorus. There's this weird like it's like a guitar sounds like a synth to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's like distorted and
Yeah,
it's like the jazzy synth.
it's really
Yeah.
weird. It sounds kind of lonely, and then
Mm.
there's this weird like drone in the background at
Yeah,
points.
I have that written down. I said otherworldly swells, and they feel kind of wailing.
Yeah, wailing. That's perfect word. There's a lot of like emotion
Yeah,
in those ones that like really works for me.
100%. That chorus is just fantastic in my opinion. And that the instrumental bridge that comes after. Oh,
Oh, it really gives like there's no singing. It really gives it like time to breathe
yeah,
and you just sit with it, and it's yeah, it worked really to like great effect.
it feels so melancholy and lonely. It's like it's really really sad.
Is there a reason you keep returning to this album, Jonah? Are you okay?
Oh god, that's funny. Um, but no, yeah. Gosh, I don't think I have much else to say on this one. But yeah,
It's a
I
really beautiful one.
love it. Yeah, it's but this is definitely a highlight for me.
Although a greater highlight, I've got to say, is the next track, "Date Night." Like, there's these like magic chimes or whatever at the
Yeah,
start that
the
just kind of
weird
like
intro synth thing, and
yeah, it just kind
I
of transports you.
yeah, and this song is hilarious. This is so funny.
It is like
Um,
it sounds like it starts like it's starting with a first date. You're like, okay,
yeah,
meeting someone and going, okay, you know, nothing surprised me much. My hobbies include this, this.
the laughing in the dark always gets me
Like,
because it's clear at this point in the album he's just not okay.
yeah,
He's just like going on these random dates and be like, yeah, I'm going absolutely nuts, you
yeah,
know?
but he's not okay. But it sounds like everything's fine. You know what I mean
Yeah.
in terms of how he's delivering it and the instrumentation. And I can't help but imagine like being the girl like opposite him, and he's talking about laughing in the dark, and her just being like, oh, oh no, it's one of these ones.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and also the line, "I'll get you ice cream if you give me your car."
Yeah, yeah, he's got you ice cream, but he's not paying.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh,
I
it's
feel like,
just he's just sounds so very completely broken and nuts.
but like that, if I get you ice cream, if you give me your card, is also I feel like that could it's quite funny, with a certain kind of delivery, that could be quite amusing.
Mm.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I like it, but
Um.
yeah, it's the
The
guitar on this is so groovy.
oh,
It feels
isn't
like
it?
you're going out, you're like ready to go out,
Uh-huh.
and there's like yeah, it's fantastic.
The the final line in his verse, I also want to vanquish evil, but my mojo is gone. It sounds like he's been one of those people with like great ambition, but never does anything to kind of live up to it.
Mhm.
And he's just like realistically, he goes back and sits in his hotel room and drinks. He's like, "Oh, I'll get round to vanquishing evil. Don't worry about it," you know.
Oh, I thought he was just kind of trying to be say something cool and weird in front of his date.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Just say something a bit weird and funny. But there's some, again, great delivery on like some of these lines, like, you know, come on, I bet you know most of my friends. There's some real exclusive dudes. Again, there's really kind of elongate some of those words.
I think even the interlude, the like ooze, is like he's trying to sound sexy.
It sounds like, is it supposed to sound like sex?
I don't know. It
It's
didn't
weird.
really cross
It's
my
funny.
mind, but it makes me laugh. It's fun to dance to.
The "I want you" is very funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. The like build up that I to it is, yeah, it's great. And I think sort of verse 2, it gets a little deeper, because it feels like he's sort of trying to leverage his fame in some way.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Because he's talking about knowing exclusive dudes. They're playing demos, and like, are you hearing impaired with your own URL? So that's, I might be reading too far into it, but I thought it was sort of like he's sort of desperate, so he's like, oh, I'll resort to this, you know?
Yeah, I can lean back on.
The fame thing.
I don't know why, but for some reason the line "so you want to be a grifter like me" just really sticks in my head. It's one
The delivery is great there.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of sing along too,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think this one's so fantastic. The piano's groovy.
The
If
bass line, man. The bass is, it's like big and chugging, and it's still groovy.
yeah, it songs feels like, you know, like he's had a few drinks. So there's the social lubricant has kind of
Yes,
done its
exactly.
job. You know what I mean?
He's not like completely wasted. He's just nearly there.
Yeah, he's
You
not
know?
wasted. He's just like at that, like, right, having a good time and being a little bit too confident.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I just think that the song communicates that feeling and
Hmm.
that vibe very, very well. And it
It
sounds great doing it.
it manages. It's just that balance of he makes himself look unflattering with this one, but like not so it's like cringe. It's just like, oh, you know, you're a little concerned.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
Um,
but then you get, like, after that kind of, you know, that high of the night with "Please Don't Die," it sounds
oh
like a
my,
real moment of, like,
oh my
sobriety.
god, what even is this song? It's so painful.
Yeah, I mean, the topic is very sad. I guess he doesn't want his wife to die.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it literal? Or is it just like, please don't go away, please don't leave? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess you could think about, like, the relationship being like, "Please don't."
Uh-huh. To me, the standout part of this is the chorus, because it's just kind of straight, not straight to the point, but it's quite clear what he's talking about, and
Mm,
it's sung so goddamn powerfully. Like, there is, when he says the words "please don't die," like
mm.
he means that
See,
completely.
like, there is obviously the song is about something very sad and emotionally charged, but I feel like for me it's kind of a miss because
What?
for
This is
something
a
that
mess?
I know for something that should be so emotionally charged, it just doesn't hit me.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what that says about me, but I feel like I really
It
want, like,
means you're heartless and cold and what? Oh no, I love this one.
I want an emotional experience of this one, and I'm not getting it. I don't know what it's missing for me. Yeah, I don't know.
Even when he's like screaming, "You're all that I have," and honey, I'm worried about you. You you don't get anything from that.
I don't know why. I don't know. I can't really fault it,
Uh huh.
but
Damn, that I'm shocked. I'm taken aback by that.
what
Um,
can I say?
yeah.
There's parts I
This.
like. There's a harmonica on this. There's a harmonica on quite a few
Mm.
songs actually,
Mm-hmm.
and again, not an instrument you hear very often. Sounds just very lonely. I
Yeah.
guess everyone's image of a harmonica is just some guy sadly playing it.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, that really fits the vibe.
Yeah, it harmonica always reminds me. There's a David Bowie song. from the album Low, where he has this harmonica,
Mm.
and it's like fantastic. It's called like A New Career in a New Town, and I don't know, it just reminds me of that.
Okay. Yeah. We should do David Bowie at some point for sure.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I love this song. This is a highlight again. There's like 5 really, really strong songs so far for
Mm.
me.
I wanted a little bit more from this one, especially because I love Date Night so much. But
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. But
that's fair.
then we get the Palace, which I guess the Palace is the hotel he's staying at.
Yeah. Um maybe I overthought it. I thought of it as kind of this just this way of life that he has right now, the kind of unsustainable, ridiculous way of life. And he's like, I don't want to have to put in the effort to get out of this rut. Um, this kind of not safe, yeah, safe space. Um, but he's really struggling to kind of break free, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, drugs are absolutely or the hotel is absolutely a part of that.
Yeah, I find hotel the hotel part of the artist's experience. That's the most pretentious way I could have said that. But hotels are like a common thing that you hear about kind of writers and musicians
Yeah.
using. Like I feel like a lot of Watch the Throne with Kanye and Jay
Oh
Z
yeah.
was written in
Uh-huh.
hotels. I think Ian Fleming would lock himself in hotels to write James Bond. I know J.K. Rowling like booked out a hotel to like finish Harry Potter in. Obviously,
Right.
this album was made in a hotel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just something interesting to me about that a bunch of creative people seem to lock themselves in.
It's weird. I guess because everything's sort of taken care for you, so
Yeah,
you just focus on what you're there to do.
I guess there's less distractions and
Yeah,
whatnot.
I love the opening line. It's only been 3 weeks and a bag of speed from Jamie, the PH. Just the fact that they kind of characterize the person who's giving him the drugs, or the way he characterizes them is just funny to me. Like he could have just kind of said it more bluntly, but it wouldn't have had the same effect.
Mm, some
Uh,
super smart guy.
and that she comes by the front desk to leave my transcript with her edits, but no, she's dropping off drugs. You can tell.
But yeah, there's like really just a piano in this one. It's like very sparse,
Hmm.
which again works for me in terms of kind of hamming up the emotion. There's a
Yeah.
real feeling of just thinking things over with this song and being kind of in your head. I mean, a lot of this album, but on this song especially, I think. And but still, like the humor is there. Like last night I wrote a
Mm.
poem. Man, I just must have been in the poem zone.
But then immediately after you get the it's gorgeous that I'm in over my head,
Mm,
and he goes falsetto for that, and that line just that hurts. Like there is so much longing and pain in that.
yeah, because he just goes so
Mm.
high with it, and yeah, it feels like water slowly coming up over your
Yeah.
head. You know, it's not a violent drowning, but
Mm.
it's
It's
slow.
this song feels like the moment when you realize you're drowning, and you're like, oh, this is happening. You know.
But he's not like panicked. But it's like in that previous, I think it's Hang Out at the Gallows. He talks about like I'm treading water while I bleed to
Mm.
death. You know, like kind of
Yeah.
treading water, being kind of stuck in place, just kind of slowly
Yeah.
mulling
Yeah.
things over while it
Uh
all
huh.
kind of leaks out of you and you die.
I love the delivery of the last night I texted your iPhone and said I think I'm ready to come home. Like it feels like very much a turning point for
Mm-hmm.
him where he's sort of realized the state he's in, and he's like, oh, I need to do something about this, you know.
Mm. I mean, my favorite's probably the talking about getting a pet, and how that kind of defeats the purpose.
Oh
And just this
yeah,
idea that
yeah.
he is in a hotel, so he doesn't have to
Look after himself.
look after himself because everything is taken care of. You don't have to. You have to cook. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to go shopping,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of free to self-medicate, I guess, and write.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely. This again a highlight. I really like this album.
See, again, I really like this song. I feel like it could have been cut down to 2 minutes. I feel like it goes on too long.
That no, it doesn't bother me personally, but fair enough. You know.
Yeah, I mean, because it is just the piano, I do think that is really sounds great, but doesn't keep it interesting enough for me for
Okay.
4 minutes. Not that I'm like entirely against it. I think like Lana Del Rey on like the Norman Rockwell album does that very well, but it just
Mm,
doesn't work as well here for me.
I see. Yeah, that's fair. Um, disappointing diamonds are the rarest of them all.
Oh, again, this one's fun as hell.
I want to know. I have a sort of interpretation of this one, but I'm not sure how kind of robust it is. So I want to know what you
Oh,
think.
you go for because I'm not entirely sure either. I mean, there's this real kind of comparing
Mm.
his love to really horrible, terrible things,
Yeah.
like a
So
pervert on a
no,
crowded bus.
I thought it was like everybody has these kind of amazing stories about how they fell in love, and he's just like, why can't it just be these kind of weird, gross things where people just kind of fall together, and it's not
Hmm.
particularly flattering at first, but it's
Hmm.
kind of real and not some fantasy story. But that could
Yeah,
be beans.
yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, I guess is the disappointing diamonds like the diamond being something that is just kind of it's not some kind of magic story. We just kind of
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
up together and it works and it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the sort of it just feels kind of messy, but like real, you know.
Hmm. There's a real like thump to the piano chords on this
Mm.
one. I love the impact of it. Um, and at the end, there's like all the horns come in. There's a
Yeah,
real like
yeah.
build up to
I have
it.
that written down. That those wind instruments give it a really, really great crescendo moment. That and it doesn't overstay its welcome either.
No, it's very well built up, and just again the chorus, great delivery, and that disappointing diamonds are the rarest of them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the huge guitar riffs on this as well.
Mm.
Um, yeah. There's not a huge amount going on lyrically, but it kind of made its point to me and gets out of the way
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say, but it's just great writing, great instrumentation,
for sure.
great song.
God's favorite customer title
Mm.
track.
Harmonica on here again.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think he means by God's favorite customer?
I really, really don't know.
Ooh.
Um, is it? It's like possibly he drifting, speaking on how he drifted away from religion, or
Mm.
yeah, I don't know.
See, I find it interesting because I think based on this big crisis event in his life, um, I think it seems that he sort of turned back to religion as a kind of sort of comforting
Right.
thing,
Mm.
and I guess kind of going back to God and going, "Hey, do you remember? Remember me? I used to be your favorite customer."
Okay,
And
yeah, I like that.
I
Yeah,
like it because it's interesting because it implies that God is selling something. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
He's like he's trying to bargain with him, with
Yeah.
God. He's like, hey, you know, I used to do all this good stuff, so why don't you kind of let me cash that out a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or also just the idea that, belief in religion is giving you a certain set of things, like a that there is an all-loving
Mm.
being that will look after you, that
Yeah.
ultimately there is morality in the universe, that everything is going to be okay. There is
Mm.
someone that loves you and is watching you in this time of like struggle.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, that's what he was buying, or could be trying to buy that kind of reassurance again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe it sounds really pretentious, but I think
No,
it's
that makes complete sense to me.
I think it's a really great title for both the album and the song.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I love the line on this. I'm in the business of living. Yeah, that's something I'd
Yeah.
say. That's so funny. It's like I, d- I don't really know exactly what it's trying to communicate, but it just makes me laugh. It
I
sounds
think because it's like so self-aware, and he's aware of the kind
yeah.
of music he makes and the labels he gets of being a little
Mm.
egotistical and pretentious.
It,
And
it
it's
it
like, yeah,
it
that's a
sounds
kind
like
of
he's
me
trying
line.
to convince himself that he's quote in the business of living. He's like, yeah, that's something I'd say. I would say that, you know. Um, yeah, I no, I have much more to say about the music in this than
Mm,
the lyrics. Like you said, that gentle harmonica
mm.
is just ooh
Yeah,
man.
again, just communicates that loneliness thing
Mm.
very, very
Um,
well.
I love that simple wind melody and that light electric piano is
Hmm.
jazzy and tasteful. Like the kind of jazz influence on this. Not that I know a huge amount about jazz, but it is just so kind of it's not overbearing. That it feels like jazz music, but it's there and it adds a whole lot of character
I guess it
to it.
also kind of works with the hotel thing as well. I feel like
Yeah,
you'd associate jazz
yeah,
to a
yeah.
certain extent, or like at least kind
Hmm.
of piano jazz with hotels, with
Yeah,
upmarket hotels. He's
completely.
probably not staying in a Premier Inn. Um,
That's true. Yeah. Um, or just those sparse drums, deep piano chords, and
is there an
those
organ at the end?
I don't know. I don't know. All I remember for the end is I don't Way's blood. I don't know how
How
you
do you
pronounce
pronounce
her
her
name.
name?
I don't know. I've heard one of her albums before, but oh, she sounds angelic on this. It's amazing.
Mm.
Really, kind of gives the a a great swell moment. You know.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic on it. Yeah, really. I think maybe the only moment where there's another
Mm.
singer on it as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess interesting, like to have it on this song specifically.
Hmm.
I guess it is kind of this back and forth between I don't know an angel something I don't know, but it
Hmm.
sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I love the line on this. I'm out here testing the maxim that all good things have to stop. It's like
Um. Can you?
he's really the party doesn't have to end. You know,
Oh,
I can keep
okay.
drinking and drugging
Yeah.
and just keep going. Why? You know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see that. Um, I like the one after the bar closes at 5, then the big man is just opening shop, referring to God. You know. Um.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. I thought that was very amusing.
Just with the chorus as well. Yeah, why won't you speak, sweet angel? Could that also be talking about his wife?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Obviously, can be straight to God, but to his wife, because
Mm,
you know, I guess that's part of the reason why he's in the hotel is she's not going to want to live with him anymore.
yeah. Yeah. That's you might be onto something there. Um. Next up, oh, the songwriter. This is some fantastic writing, in my opinion.
I oh, this one really frustrates me because I agree.
What?
I agree. I think the writing is fantastic. I think it's really interesting song what it's talking about kind of switching perspective with his wife and would
Mm,
would she mine him for inspiration
yeah.
and for music and writing the same way he kind of has used her, but there's just it's just a piano and I get bored of it again.
Okay. Yeah. I think I really really like his voice.
Mm.
So even when there's sparse instrumentation for a long time, I think he's extremely talented vocalist. So it's often able to carry it for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
You mentioned getting bored by some of the instrumentation. I that didn't even cross my mind at all when I was kind of writing notes for this.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love the writing in this. Like the line, "Would you undress me repeatedly in public to show how very noble and naked you can be?" Like, that's reflective.
Hmm.
He's looking in the mirror and being very, very critical of what he does. You know.
Yeah, it's vulnerable as well. It's
Mm-hmm.
very much opening this part of his relationship. It is like really well written. I think it's a really interesting idea. I guess interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at his previous albums, like "I Love You, Honey Bear," and just how much is kind of based on this particular person
Mm.
who mightn't be in his life anymore.
Yeah, I was just about to say, reading these now, the "Goodbye Little Songbird, Now You're Free." Um, you know, that very much alludes to the idea that his wife left him.
Mm.
Um,
Although I think she actually shot the album cover. She's a photographer,
oh, okay.
so
Maybe
I don't
they
know.
got
I
it
don't know what
back
to make
together, or there's a
make
very
from that.
strange relationship going on there. um, and just that final line, or the final outro bit. What would it sound like if you were the songwriter and "Loving Me" was your unsung masterpiece? I think that is just gorgeous. It's like, of all his achievements in music or whatever, they kind of pale in comparison to their relationship in
Mm.
his mind. Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, there's a lot to love, but I just wish I enjoyed listening to it.
Fair, 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 fair.
Now we're on the final song, which is called "We're Only People," and it's so long that the rest of it hasn't loaded for me.
We're only people, and there's not much anyone can do about that.
That's like a Fall Out Boy title. That's long.
Yeah, I hate long titles of songs, man.
Oh, I kind of like it.
In this case, it doesn't bother me as much, because I do like the wording, but they just annoy me a little bit. Like when I'm trying to read it on my phone screen and it just keeps scrolling along, it's like, bro, come on, let me see.
Oh, I
Um,
like I like it. I find it funny, like when Fall Out Boy did it, and they're like obnoxiously
mm,
long.
okay, I
Like
see.
our lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get
Oh yeah.
sued.
Oh no, that's not funny to me. I don't like that. Um. Anyway, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, it's. I think it's a really good closer. I think the guitar tone kind of reminds me a bit of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" by the Beatles, which is
Oh
one of my
yeah.
favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that like the guitar just sounds so final to me. Like the
That's funny. I felt it sort of ended a bit unresolved, like in terms of the chord
ooh,
progression, but I don't know. Yeah, that's difficult.
but yeah, it again continues being very sad. It's
Wait, you think so? I thought this might have been a sort of not a what's the words I'm looking for? Not a redemption, but it feels like he's got some perspective on things now, and it's on the kind of path to getting better.
he's got out of whatever the big ordeal was.
It,
Is that what you
yeah,
mean?
it feels like he's like, okay, give yourself
Complete
a break. We could kind of get through this, you know?
like he's yeah got through the ordeal and has perspective on it,
Yeah,
and that he's like, is it that kind of we're only people, we're only human, and
yeah,
this is just
yeah.
kind of
This is the way it is,
hmm.
so kind of deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean,
again, could be rubbish.
again, some really great writing. Again, like oh god, I've lost the line. Editing.
No, no,
But
no. We shouldn't edit that.
um, we know so little about ourselves, but just enough to want to be nearly anybody else. Again, it sounds slightly pretentious, but I think everyone can kind of relate to that a little bit.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
just the idea that just now I've been thinking about you more kindly. and talking about his friends. Like
yeah,
this idea that he has more empathy for people having gone through this shit himself.
yeah.
Or I guess maybe like what they put up with
Uh-huh.
a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like he's sort of looking back on this dark period and like, okay, thanking his friends. He's like, okay, I can deal with this now a bit more now. You know.
I've got a question. What do you think he means by the final lines? It's like, why not me? Why not you? Why not now?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I
was hoping you'd go, well, I think, but no, we don't know. Certified album check does not know.
Look. I guess that's better than us trying to make up some waffly bullshit where we could be like, oh, but clearly Father John Misty is talking about the inevitability of life, how we are only immortal. Why not you? Why not me? We're only going, but we don't know.
Yeah, give us credit for not knowing what we're talking about. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, I don't have a huge amount to say about this one. I like the way it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Shall we wrap it up then?
Let's wrap that up. This is a really good album. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I like it. I think there's a lot to like on it. Think songs like Date Night, Mr. Tillman, I really, really love. But I think there are a few meh moments on it for me. I don't think it's amazing, but I do enjoy it, quite a lot of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say amazing, but like, yeah, as I say, I come back to this one.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I actually really don't know. Like, I don't really listen to music in this vein from anyone else. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. It's a mystery.
Would you check out his next album?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. No question.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of an odd fellow.
Yeah, he does indeed. Alrighty.
Yeah. That's it.
You made it to the end. Well done.
The whole album, we talked about it, and now it's over.
we need to get more efficient at kind of wrapping these things up. We're not very good at it. So let's just do it now. Bye-bye.
It's over. It's over. Go home. Bye.